Hey there, gym owners and coaches. Welcome back to Mic'd Up, the Game Changer edition. This is episode 5. My name is Rochelle,
And I'm Liz.
and we are diving into practical strategies to help cheerleading, recreational gyms, dojos, a whole realm of them thrive in your community and your business. Today, we're talking about a super powerful but often underutilized strategy for marketing, which is public relations events and how you can use those to help increase enrollment in your gym. So, if you've ever wondered how to get more eyes on your gym without just putting all of your money into ad spend, then this episode is for you. So, Liz, why do you think that PR events really matter to a gym?
Oh, just to the gym?
I mean, the community too, because
Yeah, it
I think the community grows healthy.
matters to so many people. Okay, so the PR events, I mean, they're kind of twofold, right? We all know that the more you get out into your community, the more your community is going to know who you are. That's just a given. But people don't quite get the bonding that happens in your gym, in your dance studio, in your dojo when people have a fun event outside of your business space. So when your athletes or students are getting together and they're all dressed up. So say, let's talk about a Santa Claus parade. You get time to decorate the float. You get time together to walk the parade route, be silly, dress up, grab some hot chocolate. Like it's the bonding event itself helps. Why is that good for your business? Well, one, it helps with retention. Absolutely, because the more fun people have at your business, the more they want to be at your business and doing things with your business. But it starts to project into their environment outside of your business. So they talk about all the fun things that they do at your dojo. They talk about, oh my gosh, did you see us throw that basket at the Santa Claus parade, right? So there's a lot of so that part, goes in a couple of different spaces. It also gives you that opportunity to market without marketing. So again,
Which is
I'm
key.
using what's that?
Which is key.
Oh,
Like,
it's
how can you
huge.
make it not feel like an ad?
We put so much time and energy into marketing our businesses, whether it's email marketing or ads or, something like that, that it's nice to market without being that advertiser, right? So again, I'm going to use the Santa Claus parade as an example. Your logo and your business, it's displayed everywhere, right? You've got your either, hopefully you're doing this. Your students are branded. Make sure they're branded. You've got the logo on the side of the truck, on the back of the float, lit up with lights, all of those different things that helps you promote your business. We've been in business. This is our 12th season. And every year at Santa Claus Parade, without fail, I will overhear someone in the crowd go, I didn't know we had a cheerleading company in town. And it's like, but it really costs me. Sometimes there's like a parade entry fee. It costs me that. The rest of the time, my parents volunteer, my athletes volunteer, my staff volunteers. We give them a hoodie. So it costs me the price of a hoodie, for staff to volunteer kind of idea. So it's another nice way of marketing without being that in your face, buy now, that type
Which
of
is
person.
also a good opportunity, like, speaking of Santa Claus parade, it's a pro shop opportunity to increase some revenue in your gym where it's like, "Hey, like, if you don't have any, like, whatever your gym's name is, insert here, but, like, if you don't have any gear to wear, here is the pro shop," right? We have extra shirts, we have extra sweaters, or you set up a specific Santa Claus parade hoodie. Or if it's like recently there's been like a wine event, then like decorating it to match the theme. So I know that you do themed hoodies. So how do you decide on what that themed hoodie is for that PR event?
So it depends on what the event is. And I'm kind of stuck on the Santa Claus parade right now because believe it or not, that's what we're planning right now. I know it's October 3rd and Santa Claus parades aren't until the end of November, but we're already designing the marketing material that we're giving out during the parade. that's a whole other topic coming a little bit later. It's, we're designing our hoodies. So we don't necessarily have a specific design that is a go-to other than our logo, obviously. My gym director is amazing at creating designs and getting stuff ordered and stuff. So we always make sure to have a different design every year. And the reason why we do a different one, because, it breaks up the hoodie boredom, but two, a lot of our kids collect them. So each year is a different hoodie and they get one each year. We do bundles as well where you can get a hoodie and either a hat or an earpiece or something because obviously being in Ontario, it's cold. So we make sure that our representatives are warm, right? So yeah. So we do that.
Little
We open the sales up to parents. So a lot of parents will buy the hoodies. So yeah, siblings are allowed to be in the parade with us, not a problem, as long as they're branded.
Just as a little side note, I thought it was hilarious because last year when I moved to BC, we were in the Santa Claus parade and, everyone's saying like, okay, like bundle up. It's going to be so cold, like all these things. And it was like 6 degrees or something like that, like 10 degrees. And I was like sweating, like I was in a t-shirt. And like when I'm in the Santa Claus parade, like I am very much understanding that it is obviously with my different roles but understanding that it's a marketing thing and that I want to show people the excitement and just the energy that I bring, which I bring a lot of energy as a coach.
You bring you bring so much energy to the parade that we won an award for
That is
it.
true. I did.
Right? Like, that's how much energy you bring. Y'all, if you ever get an opportunity to watch Rochelle in a parade, you have to do it because she and another coach of ours at the time, Coach Victoria, had that crowd just going wild. They had so much fun. And yeah, the judges gave us an award for it. It was great.
It's pretty good. We are doing the Macarena on our own little trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got here and I'm like sweating. Like I am just like drenched. And like all of my families are like, are you so cold? And I was like, guys, I am used to it's -10, it's raining or it's snowing. And like the parade was like, I think it was 1 kilometer or something. And I'm like,
Literally.
I am used to a 5 kilometer parade. It is 3 hours when the parade starts. And I got done it. I was
Cold.
like, man, I gotta like change. I am drenched.
Yeah, and it's cold. The parades are cold here. Last year was beautiful weather. We lucked out, but
The year I leave.
usually it's very cool. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, back to this. I just think that's funny. But yeah, the difference between BC and Ontario just always makes me laugh whenever I do that. But yeah, so what would be some other ideas of PR events? So that would be things like so recently the hospital ran a bed races, which I just think is so fun. And so what they did is they were raising funds to purchase more beds for the hospital. And so they had teams sign up and they decorated it and they had to race these beds with people on it all the way down. And then they were looking for vendors and super easy. All we did was just send an email and say, hey, would you be interested in us running a mobile obstacle course for the kids who are attending this? And the hospital was like, yeah, 100%. Like, here is the thing to sign up. And I think it cost like $25. It was not very
But
much.
they actually wound up waiving it for us even.
See?
Yeah. So it was originally
There.
$25, but they wait and I'm like, "Are you sure? Like, this is a fundraiser. We have no problem paying our vendor fee." And no. So it did cost me payroll. I mean, there was an expense to it, right? Mileage, payroll. But the fact that we got out to a totally different kind of crowd that we normally wouldn't even think to market to in that way. So yeah. Yeah, we've done Canada Day events are really good. We set up an obstacle course. We have like a fall frenzy style idea. We do
We do
trunk
a
or
spring one too.
yeah, there's a spring one. Yeah. We do trunk or treat every year. We do charge for that to help us recoup some of the cost. But my staff volunteers. So really the cost is minimal. It's just, providing the games and stuff like that. It's completely volunteer run, but that's another great way to market. And we get to market those guys afterwards as well. Same with, when we go to events and set up an obstacle course, because we have people sign a waiver. So people who come into our gym in order to go on our mats sign a waiver. That waiver creates a card in Trello for us. So we have, digital access, like direct access to something, but it also puts them on our email marketing list. So
Automatically.
yeah, so we now get to email to them. So those that, for example, register for our trunk or treat, they'll get a follow-up email saying, "Hey, how was the event? Thanks for coming," that kind of thing. And then it keeps them on our marketing list saying, "Have you checked out our programs? Merry Christmas. Hey, the new season is starting." So yeah, so we're able to market to them after and not just a wave hello when they come in to the business.
And if you do not have a way for your waivers, one, for people to sign a waiver really easily, and two, to be able to export those emails and put it into a system like Sports Engine, Active Campaign, MailChimp, anything like that, that needs to be your number one takeaway from here, because the ability to follow up with people is what is going to make the difference. Like, getting your name out there is awesome, but for the people that sign that waiver to do the obstacle course and they have a ton of fun, or for them to, try cheerleading and, put up a little stunt at a fair, that is like really, really important because those people are interested in it. So we want to make sure to follow up with them so that we can get them into our classes, show them how amazing we are, and get them to start learning new skills right away. Some other things too, we've done not Relay for Life, but similar in the sense of local family was running a fundraiser for raising funds for the oncology ward for the local hospital. So that's one way to get involved. And then I'm trying to think of other ones that we've done.
We've normally we've sponsored them a few times, and the package that we purchase also gets our logo put on like a prominent place on the t-shirt. It's marketing, it's not really marketing, like it's not why we do it. We just truly believed in her event and what it was for. But we've also donated items to it as well. Like we created this little backpack snack pack basically that had like a bottle of water and gum and granola bars and stuff like that, and we put it on a branded backpack for them so that they also had that and something that they could use, later on as well.
Yeah. Same thing. Golf tournaments we've sponsored before.
Yeah.
And if you have the option, I know, Liz, in your area, this is not an option that is readily available, but depending on your province, depending on your city and your township and that, but there is sometimes the option to do things at local schools and get involved with the PTAs. I know, Liz, that your area doesn't allow that.
It
Um,
does not. Yeah.
but it is an option for some. Like, I know here in BC, we work with a school that's not too far away. It's about 15 minutes from my house, which is wonderful. And so it's easy for me to pop down there and run a quick cheerleading class or run a weekly tumbling class for their after school program. But it's also one of those things that with schools, if you're not able to get into the actual school, reaching out and getting access to the after school program is also a potential option, because the after school program typically is not run by the school, it's run by a different licensed provider. So that's one opportunity, that if you can't get into schools, try getting into the before after school program to be able to run programs, or even like the same thing, like it could be like sponsoring a snack pack just to get your name out there a little bit more. But yeah, so lots of different ways that you can do that. Another thing that is really underutilized for cheerleading gyms is press releases when it comes to events. So things like your local showcase, that is an opportunity to send a press release. Press releases themselves are not difficult to do. There's a specific format, but getting the emails to send them out and knowing who to contact, most of the times your local radio stations or your local radio news media hub If you send it to the newsroom and it is a local feature and you make sure that they know that you're a sports organization, they have a specific section that is called sports. There's a specific section on their radio, like talking parts, where they talk about local sports activities that are happening. A lot of times it's utilized for hockey. It's probably the most prominent for hockey. That's what you hear all the time. So why can't it be you? Why can't you just pop in and have that there? So things like updates after competitions. So if you're a dance show, you've had performances, like let them know how yours did and making sure to really focus on the local aspect and the impact that that has, which we can do a whole podcast on press releases because I love them so much, but they don't have to take you long. They shouldn't be scary. It is just an option in your marketing toolkit that is very underutilized with cheerleading gyms and dance studios and especially dojos. You never hear about dojos.
Especially. Well, we do every once in a while in our area. We do have quite a few dojos that do like international competition. So every once in a while, we'll see something in the news about those guys. Yeah.
So it's super important. You don't need a PR or a marketing firm to do this. You just need a system. And actually, I think this is so fun because this is just a fun little thing. But so I absolutely love the author and marketer Alan Dibb. He's incredible and just like the way he talks about things is awesome. And so he had recently sent out a email and it was talking about marketing when you don't have motivation, which is we can have a whole other conversation about that. But I responded to him and I said, yeah, 100%. Like one of the biggest things that I talk about and that I really promote is the fact that marketing doesn't need to be expensive. It needs to be consistent. And he responded to the email, which fangirled so hard. Thank you, Alan. But one of the things that we were having a conversation in that email about was the fact that consistency is always going to win over a big budget that is one-offs, right? Being consistent and really spreading your message and having a system that creates that and creates that consistency is what is going to win when you have no motivation or also you are super busy. And so this is just another case where being consistent is going to help you grow your business. And it starts with having a system in place for your marketing even if you don't have a marketing person. Your marketing person also needs systems. It's a whole other conversation, but having a system to be able to, okay, we have this event coming up. Let's contact these people. Let's set up what we need before. What flyers do we need? How do we follow up with those people? And then if you have a showcase or an event that has a little bit of a bigger impact locally, then now we're doing a press release afterwards and it's within 48 hours, right? And having those systems in place to be able to do that. So that starts with creating a actual Excel sheet of a contact list. So people like events. So if it's a Santa Claus parade, who's the person that you contact in September when they're starting to think about the date? If it's like the fall frenzy, like you talked about, Liz, or it's a spring event, who is running each of these events and making sure that you have their name, you have their phone number, and you have their email. Create an Excel sheet. And then that way you're not having to be like, oh no, who did I contact about this? Or searching through your emails. Like you just pull up one sheet, it's all there.
Yeah.
Other things that it could include would be like school contacts. So like principals, those after school contacts, or those reporters, like those newsrooms.
I just thought of another event.
Yeah.
So a lot of our clients are near military bases. Our military base does a welcome every September to new families. It is a fantastic way to get your name out to brand new people.
And also they do like a handbook or like a welcome guide. And that's an awesome opportunity for when they're going to list local sports activities for their kids, get your name on there. There's literally nothing that you have to do. You just have to email them and say like, hey, we'd love to be a part and help your families transition to the community. Right. And you have to focus on what is the value for their customers, not the value for you, because that's
Yeah.
going to make the difference on them saying yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Liz, when you are emailing to say, like, hey, we have these contacts, how are you getting into that event? Like, what is an email or a phone call that you're saying that, like, what is that benefit to them?
Well, it's like what you just said. We look at how we can make their event better, not about how we can market to the people that are going to be going to their event. So, for example, for the bed races, we offered that obstacle course for the kids who are attending. And we've done like the longest night, which is a walk for the shelter in our town. Same thing. We set up an obstacle course for the kids that were attending while the adults were busy. So we always look at that angle of how can we make your event better? How can we help the people who are attending your event have a great time? So we usually start with that. If it's something that we notice, for example, on Facebook, we will send them a message and just say, so, if they're like, oh, we're looking for people for this event, we always ask. Instead of saying, we would love to do this, well, we say that too, but we start with, do you think that this would be a good fit for your event? So we're always asking them because it's their event. If we want our own event, we'll do that, which we do. But but it's always about them. The bonus to us is just that. It's just a bonus.
And then when you are getting ready, I like to call them like a street team because I know that's like a term that radio stations use. But like when you're getting your street team ready, so your, athletes, your coaches, or even your parents that are involved, what are the big things that you're making sure that is in place for those people when they go to these events?
Well, we have what we call a go bin. And in the go bin is all of the marketing material they'll need, tablecloth, the banner, pens, clipboards, whatever we can, tablecloth clips,
Especially the windy day.
tape, extra Velcro, anything that makes their job easier, any little things that we think they may need on site. We obviously also ask them, what do you need? And we just make sure that go bin is ready to go. When it's staff members, we always put all of the details in their shift notes. So we put the address of where they're going. We'll put their, if there's a lot of information, I'll actually send them a calendar invite so that they have the contact information, the phone number, the email, or the physical address of the space, the times that they're going to be there, what time they need to be set up. I give them all the information I can, either in their shift notes or in a calendar invite, sometimes both. And then while they're on site, we also check in with them. We just want to make sure, how are things going? How are you doing? A lot of times these events run for 6-7 hours and they don't always get a break. And while our staff are fine with that, if they're doing 6-7 hours with no contact, it also makes for a supremely long day. There are events where we'll send 2 staff members and they are expected. They don't always do this because they love working the events. They don't want to miss out on anything, but it is expected that they will spell each other off for breaks so that they can go walk around, grab a drink, go sit in the shade, be not around people, like stuff like that.
And because, like, they like it so much, sometimes it's literally, like, when it starts to get, like, slower, there's like, "Okay, go take a walk," right? Like, it's not like a
Yeah.
formal thing just because they love it so much.
Exactly. If they need equipment, we make sure that all of that equipment is set with the go bin right at the doors the night before so that when they start, they can literally just arrive at the gym, grab the stuff, load their truck, and off they go. So they're not scrambling around trying to gather all the pieces that they need. So we just try and make it as frictionless as possible for them and as smooth as possible.
It's also important to systemize that, right? So they have a checklist of exactly what to do. But when it comes to the obstacle course, there's a system for exactly what items they're going to bring and how to set it up so that, like, it's already done and someone who is newer to PR events, they can go do that, right? And they feel more confident. And then as they get more confident, the coaches that have done it or the admin who have done it multiple times or multiple years, then they add their own flair to the different things, right? Which is just, it makes it even better. But the base system is there and ready for them to use. It's easy to understand, easy to set up, and that they're setting them up for success so that the event is as frictionless as possible.
Exactly.
Okay, so then we've sent them there, they've done their job. Now turning those people into enrollments after the event. The biggest thing is make it easy to get that contact information. So if it's scan a QR code to get a class pass or scan to see the new member special, one we've done before is a birthday party contest. We only launch the birthday party contest we put it on the website. It launches for like 24 hours. And that way we can track if they scan and they fill out that form, it is only the people at that event. So we know exactly who has done it and where they came from. So we can go through that. The only thing that gets a little bit hectic is that all of the scans for the waiver forms, if you get notifications to your email on events like this, just know that you're going to have upwards of like 150, 200 emails of just waiver forms. So make sure that when you are sending out things that, like, if you have a PR event, have someone just monitoring the email just to make sure that there's any like big questions that come in, because you can get flooded with waiver form emails, which is great. And we love that. But then we need to be able to follow up with them. So making sure that okay, within these 24 hours, these waiver forms came in, and sending out things like a new member special afterwards, or here's our class options, or we have,
Or just to thank you for attending.
yeah,
Like if it's a charity event, for example, so say we're attending a walk for juvenile diabetes or something, and we get that email or we get that waiver form in, the email we send out isn't even about marketing. Sometimes it's just about thanks for attending the event. Don't know if you've heard, but they raised $14,000. You know what I mean? So kind of gives that follow up there too.
and it's important to follow up quickly. So following up within 24 to 48 hours, because the reality is we're like little goldfish and our attention span is very short now. So if you're not following up within that time, they've already forgotten about you. As much as like our egos don't want to think that, it's very true. Like there is so much information and there are so many things that making sure to follow up quickly allows you to capitalize on that interest. And like you said, thank them for stopping by, invite them to a class, send them new member special, or you can also kind of take it a step further and link a video. You can just put it unlisted on YouTube, but it is a quick, short video from a staff member or a team that's like, literally it can be the same video that you use for every single event, but it could be like, thanks for stopping by. We loved meeting you. That's the video. Quick, done, right? You can take it in your gym and have like your like staff members do it really quick, or it could be a little bit longer video that's like, hey, thanks so much for stopping by. My name is Rochelle, and I'm the gym director at this gym. And this is just a little bit about us. We'd love to see you again. Make sure to head over to here to grab a class for, your new member special price, $49, $59, that sort of thing. Anything else, Liz, that you can think about in terms of turning them into enrollments?
Think enrollments, no. Honestly, it's about when you do these events, you need to send the right staff. You need to send people who are comfortable talking to people. You need to send people who are comfortable talking about your programs. And you need to send people who are going to have fun, not just pretend to have fun. You need people who are having fun. We have a very specific go team that we send. We will pair them up. We have one who absolutely loves talking to and working with the kids, and we pair her with our little, we love her to death, with our little chatterbox. She will talk to anybody about all of our programs, and they're a fantastic team to send. That in itself is going to make people more interested in your business for sure. They'd be like, oh, wait, wow, the people that work there have a lot of fun. So, and it's important, right? Especially when you're in youth sports. Parents want their kids to have fun. It's that simple.
Love that. Okay, so let's wrap it up. So, if you want to make sure to build some buzz in the community around your name, you're wanting to get your name out there without paying for ads and making it feel like an advertisement and filling your classes with people who already know a little bit about you and trust you, start saying yes to PR events. So, your action item for after this podcast is to create a contest list in Excel or Google Sheets this week. So start making a list of name, email, phone number, and what event that they run. Write a quick little email that you can use as a template to those organizations that says, hey, this is our name. We'd love to be a part of your event if you think it's a great fit. This is what we can offer. And always, always, always have a system so that you can run these events as fast and frictionless as possible and create that incredible experience that people are going to want to join your gym. You do it all the time and you don't even realize that you're doing it. So just translate that into what will be successful with your street team and set them up for success. Okay. So thanks for tuning in to Mic'd Up the Game Changer. My name's Rochelle.
And I'm Liz.
And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with another gym owner who really wants to grow their gym smarter, not harder. Okay, we will talk to you later. You have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.